All right. Good morning. Happy Friday, everybody. How's everybody doing this week? We'll take a minute, share this out, get a few of you heathens on here. If you're watching this or you see this, share it, leave a comment, say hello. Don't be shy. Let me know where you're at in the world. All right. How we all doing? What's happening this week with y'all? Big week this week. Big week this week. Brent, hello. How are you? Appreciate you jumping on. Hope everything is well in your neck of the woods. What else do we have here? Let me see here. There we go. Get the comments on. Hey, good morning to you guys. Hello. Appreciate you. All right. So I got last week, I said ugly sweater this week. I'm throwing myself under the bus here. I looked for my ugly sweater, and my ugly sweater is missing. I'm just as upset about it as you guys are. So that's why I went with the holiday. I got to bring back the bow ties. So I did not do an ugly sweater today. I have to go get one. So I'll do one. I'll do the ugly sweater next week. I've had a couple people text me ugly sweaters. Some of them I'd be too afraid to put up here. Just you military people, we're just sick-minded that way. They are ugly, and certainly inappropriate. So, not that this show is necessarily PG, but I would even question whether or not I'd put them up here. So, if next week you want to do an ugly sweater, I'm going to give out some coffee. We'll do let's do 2 pounds of coffee, 2 bags of coffee for the winner of the ugly sweater contest. You have to have your pictures turned in by Wednesday of next week. So you can email your ugly sweater pictures to the email link below, media@heroesmediagrp. And if you are picked the winner, then you will get 2 pounds of HMG coffee, your choice of which blend you want. So, and you can go to hmgcoffee.com and pick out the blend that you want. We will make the announcement of the winner the week of Christmas. I'm kind of doing this on the fly. I certainly have not thought this through all the way. How was you guys' week this week? I after the show last week, I was like, man, I just got back from Wisconsin, and I feel like I need to go. Had a Saturday was did some work around the house. Sunday night did a show with Double S Podcast that we'll talk about a little bit later with Gene Campbell, our buddy over there, and that was a great show. And then Monday, I took off and went down to Virginia. What do we have? Brent, big game tomorrow. Yep, we're going to talk about that here in just a couple minutes, Brent. So big game tomorrow. We'll talk about Army Navy tomorrow, or we'll talk about that here in just a few. So Monday I left and I went down to see my friends over at Green Valley Hunter's Paradise down in Millboro, Virginia. And this is what it looked like driving down. It was snowing. I hit snow, and this was through a place called Buffalo Pass. and it was absolutely breathtaking. Um, Going through the mountains, as you could tell, there wasn't much traffic in this area, and this route that I took here was actually the safer of the two routes that I usually travel. So it was nice. The weather was cold, a lot of snow. I think they got like 3 4 inches. Um, but it was nice. I came home yesterday, and I'm already planning on going back next week. I think for a couple more days. So I go down there. Um, it's no internet, no cell phone service where I stay. Um, it kind of a reconnect. I've learned a lot, not only about myself this year, but you're like, Adam, what's the point? Why are you sharing this with us? Um, I guess to point out, like, make some time for yourself. We've had a great year here at HMG. All the shows are just absolutely fantastic, and some of them have won awards, and I'll get into that here later in the show as well. But just kind of like unwind. I'm trying to be more self sufficient, so I do hunt and fish and stuff like that, and that's a part of what these trips are for me is trying to uh, put food in the freezer. So nonetheless, I thought I'd share that with you just because I think sometimes we take for granted just how beautiful the world really is amidst the amount of chaos and all the crap that we see on the news. So I thought maybe I could share that with you guys today. All right, moving on. Uh, big game, tomorrow. There he is, David. Good morning, brother. How are you? Yeah, it was. It's amazing down in Bath County, Virginia, is where I end up staying. I can't even tell you the mountain range. I go over like 2 ranges to get to where I'm at in this valley, but it's Dave, you're an outside guy. You'd like it. Maybe you guys gonna need to plan a trip out east next year. We'll get a bunch of us to go down. I got days that I can use. Um, Bring guests and stuff like that. Yeah, Sedona. Yeah, Sedona. I'm glad you brought that up. Sedona is another great area. So, as Dave's talking about the picture I posted here, this is in Virginia. If you've ever been to Sedona, Arizona, um, absolutely beautiful. Uh, it's beautiful there. The Red Rocks, and when it snows in the Red Rocks there, those of you that have never been up to Sedona, Arizona, I strongly encourage you to do it. And again, I show the picture because I think sometimes we end up taking things for granted in life. Like there's area, you talk to the locals down in Virginia where I go, and they're just like, yeah, no big deal. We take it for granted. You take it for granted. And I was like, how can you take it for granted? It's like when you go over like the mountain range to get to get to where I go, it's like you're stepping back in a time machine a little bit. Like, I live a very fast-paced life, and when you get to unplug from the cell phone or you unplug from the internet for a few days, um, you really get wrapped up in the beauty that is around. I'm not trying to sound sappy or any of that other shit, but you really you tend to take things for granted. I lived in Flagstaff for 4 years, and I will take this to the grave. I think one of the most beautiful places in the world out of all my world travels is in Arizona, and the mountains, the sunsets and the sunrises, off the mountains in Arizona, especially in Sedona, up in Flagstaff, even down at Tucson, all over the Phoenix Valley. And I'm not a big fan of Phoenix anymore, but like the mountains just being there in the desert, there's a certain beauty about that. Um, so if you have the opportunity to experience, don't take it for granted. Sometimes take a step back, unplug, and just realize how lucky we are. So, David, great place to have an office. Yeah, it most certainly is. Sedona it's such a beautiful area down there, man. All right, let's get in tomorrow. This week it's Army Navy week. This week, Kickoff time is 3 p.m. You can watch it on CBS. Sponsored by USAA. I'm not affiliated with them. I'm certainly not promoting them. I'm just going off of, yeah. Army Navy. We were there last year. Duke Cannon, they were giving out bars of soap. And Army on one side, Army Navy, go Navy. Yeah, but this is the right side, right? Go Army. That's probably why the Navy doesn't like us. I don't know. I think the Navy's got it in for us, but that's all right. And not the Army. I'm talking about HMG in general. I said it. Anyway, Army Navy game. If you've never been to an Army Navy game, it is one of the coolest experiences you'll ever experience in life. I have been blessed. I think we've covered 5 or 6 different ones right now. And tomorrow it's at MT&T Stadium in Baltimore. That was actually where I covered the very first Army Navy game for HMG. This was back in 2016. And that year, Army broke the streak. So Navy had won like, I don't know, 15 years in a row. And then HMG shows up and Army wins. And then they won the following year that we were at. So I am not saying that we're their good luck charm. I'm just saying, I don't know what I'm saying. Just ignore me. How many people are going to Army Navy? How many people are watching Army Navy game tomorrow? Duke soaps, I gift them every year. Yeah, these things are, and like, I mean, you can use these as weapons. I'm not encouraging that, but I mean, these things are heavy. The bars are heavy, and Duke Cannon. Duke, if anybody out of Duke Cannon, listen, they're not a sponsor of HMG, but I'll certainly give you a shout out. And, we are looking for more sponsors in 2026. Duke, if anybody out there, I'm just saying, hit me up. Army Navy game. Let me tell you a little bit about Army Navy game. I was going to post some pictures and stuff. I probably will share some past pictures. Flyovers are a big thing for me. I love the flyovers. Most of the flyovers that we have done at Army Navy game get 30, 40,000 views. So much to the point that I think it was I'm not going to say it. YouTube has canceled 2 of our videos. We were getting so many views. But nonetheless, the cadets and the midshipmen, as they walk out prior to the game, the bands come out. I mean, this is all stuff that you're not seeing on TV. It's just, you got to be there. Excuse me. One year I was down in the end zone. It's such an amazing event. And it's one of those where like everybody on the field is a hero, meaning they're the only ones that have an obligation to the service after graduation. And I think out of all of the events that Heroes Media Group has covered over the last 10 years, Super Bowl, NASCAR, Final Four, Big Ten championships, like we've done a lot in the last 10 years, and we've got to do a lot of cool things. Me personally, I think Army Navy game tops every sporting event that's out there. I don't think the Army Navy game you can beat. I don't think you can beat it. I don't think you can beat. There's nothing out there in sports that's better than Army Navy. It's just such a cool event. So if you ever get a chance, and my goal, and I'm putting this out there, I'm trying to manifest this. My goal is to someday take 2 families. I'd like to take 2 families to an Army Navy game sponsored by Heroes Media Group, and go to some of the tailgates. I've got friends that are down there. Operation Barbecue Relief stand. They're going to be tailgating down there tomorrow. You got a lot of great organizations. There's a lot of military influencers and stuff that are going to be there. Am I going to go? Haven't decided yet. We're not covering it this year, and I'm going to leave that one alone. I'll maybe for another day, but I'm certainly not going to do it now. But I do need to give a shout out to West Point Athletics, their media director up there, Eric. Fantastic individual to work with, and their West Point's media relations team is just phenomenal people to work with. So I want to put that out there. Let me see here. It'll be an uplift fight. Navy's currently 9-2 on the year. Army is 6-5. You better be Army's good luck charm. Yeah. You know, it's funny though. This is the one game where, going into the game, the records, you would think the records matter. And I've seen Navy ahead, and this is, you ask Coach Munkin over at West Point, what's the only game, like they could have a losing season, but if you beat Navy, it was a good year. This is the only game that matters to these academies, I think, is this particular game. And this dictates whether or not you have a successful year or not. Navy's going to a bowl game. I forget which one they are going to. Army's going to a bowl game. That's going to be up in Boston on December 27th. May or may not be making that trip too. I'm not sure. Depends on how the rest of the hunting season goes. But nonetheless, great game. Hope you guys watch it tomorrow. 3 p.m. is kickoff. It's going to be on CBS. Excuse me. What else? God, I love Army Navy game. This is such a cool time of year. Baltimore this year, and then it's back in Philadelphia next year. So, yeah, check it out. Let's move on because we've got some stories to talk about today. I'm going to stick with the football theme this week. This next headline: Coach Moore jailed as police investigate situation that had led to the fired Michigan coach's arrest. So, this is within the last 48 hours, 72 hours. Michigan coach was being held in jail on Thursday while police investigate the situation that led to his arrest hours after the once promising coach was fired at Michigan for what the school said was an inappropriate relationship with a staff member. Now, I've been looking a lot online. You've been seeing a lot of this stuff. This is allegedly the person. I'm not going to say her name, is right here. A lot of outlets are putting this out there. This is allegedly the staffer that was out there. And again, this here that I'm showing you could be fake news. A lot of the like CNN, CBS, they're not saying who the staffer was, or they haven't put the name out there. There's been reports out that the staffer got a 55% increase. So it's not necessarily about football, or maybe it is. I don't know. But nonetheless, Michigan is without a coach, or without their promising head coach, and they brought in the assistant, I believe. Don't quote me on that. But I'm pretty sure they brought the assistant in to make it up. I'm not sure if she was involved. You see a lot of pictures of that woman and the coach. Yeah. Listen, man, if you're going to have a side chick, no. If you had an inappropriate, here's my question. If the coach got fired for having an inappropriate relationship with a staff member, did the staff member get fired as well, knowing that she was having an inappropriate relationship with a married man? That's what I want to know. Because she got a 55% pay increase. She went from like something like $90,000. Young lady, I don't know. I don't know if this was her. Allegedly, I'm not saying this is her because I don't know. I'm just feeding you guys what else is out there. It could be fake news for all we know. But yeah. So go blue. I don't. Sorry. Yeah. Moving on before that goes any further south. University of Utah. We're sticking with the athletic theme here, right? University of Utah. This is we've talked about the NIT and like players getting paid and stuff like that. Utah is taking this to a whole nother level. University of Utah approves a private equity plan for athletics. Franco, what's up, brother? We need to chat. Good to see you. University of Utah approved private equity plan for athletic. Here's what it means for the Utes. Ortho Capital is expected to raise up to $500 million in revenue. College sports, it's no secret. College sports is expensive for these universities and stuff like that. Well, the University of Utah will put the future of athletic department finances in the hands of a new for-profit company backed by a private equity firm. University's board of trustees on this past Tuesday, cleared the way for a deal involving New York private equity firm Ortho Capital. It's the first of its kind plan for a college athletic department that calls for the creation of Utah Brands and Entertainment. It's going to be a company to oversee major revenue sources. The capital firm is going to be the minority owner of Utah Brands and handle the operations such as ticket sales, media, stadium events, concessions, trademark and licensing matters. The U, through its nonprofit University of Utah Growth Capital Partners Foundation, would have the majority ownership of the company, and Utah's athletic director, Mark Harlan, would serve as the chairman of its board. It's going to oversee, it will also continue to oversee student athletics, their scholarships, coaches, fundraising, and then, of course, to stay NCAA compliant, right? Because that's important when you're running a program. I think this is going to be very interesting to see if other colleges and universities moving forward will follow suit and try to go get some type of venture capital firm to come in. These colleges burn through so much money, especially with these kids that are getting paid now to be influencers of their brand and et cetera, and this portal opening up where kids can go play at a school for 1 year and then transfer somewhere else. It's just, I don't know. It's going to be different. So I'm looking forward. I'm looking forward to see how this pans out for University of Utah. Moving on. I'm going to post this link to share this. It's a YouTube of, if I can, geez, please.
I want to address something directly with all of you.
It is. All right, here we go. See, this is what happens when I try to multitask. How many of you watched the Sean Ryan show? Sean Ryan came out this morning, or I think it was yesterday morning, one of the two, for immediate release on Representative Dan Crenshaw threatens to sue Sean Ryan for asking a simple question: that how can a congressman afford that kind of lifestyle? So you have a politician, Navy SEAL veteran, politician, who you watch Sean's. I don't know Sean personally. And I don't know Dan personally either. I've watched Sean's show. I know some of his guests that he's had on. Seems like a down to earth, good human. For the most part, from what I've seen, that's my opinion. But Sean, he was asking hard questions, and now it seems like Crenshaw is not didn't like the fact that he was getting asked questions or assuming one thing or the other. So now he wants to threaten to sue, and that's all I'm going to say about it. Watch the video, and you come up with your own conclusion with it. I didn't see what Sean did was wrong in any way. I think he was asking questions, and I think you have a now sitting congressperson that's getting butthurt that somebody called them out on something, asking questions. Yeah, I think he is too, David. I think he is too. I'm not going to repeat that, but I most certainly think he is. Because I don't want to get sued. and he seems like the type of person that would do that. I don't, I initially called this blue on blue, like, oh, two seals going at it. What could possibly happen? No, it's not even that anymore. But it's like, when are we as a society going to start holding Congress and these politicians accountable? Insider trading, all this other stuff. Of course, they don't want to vote on their own term limits and stuff like that, because then they're losing their cush job of $174,000. I'm not saying that that's what Representative Dan Crenshaw makes as a salary. It's all public knowledge, $174,000 a year, and he's got worth millions and millions of dollars. And I'm not saying that politicians do insider trading and make back-ended deals to line their own pockets. I'm not saying that, because I'm more responsible, and I wouldn't say something like that because I don't know. Allegedly, what happens is that politicians make backdoor deals. Allegedly, they do some type of insider trading that's not shown to the rest of the public. The same public that put them in office. I'm not saying any of that stuff because it might not be true, right? That would be irresponsible of me to say something like that. Mainstream media would never say anything like that. Moving on. I'm going to get blacklisted again. Awesome. Let's just stick with the effatry today. How many of you have seen the 50 Cent Diddy thing that's going around the internet right now? Have you seen first of all, have you seen the documentary on Netflix about Sean Puffy Combs or Diddy? I have not. I haven't seen it. I don't want to see it. I'm afraid that it would cause nightmares. But and I text my buddy Jeremy, and I hope he's watching this. I'm going to share a video that my buddy Jeremy did. He talked about it. It is probably one of the most epic videos you'll ever watch in your life. It was absolutely done to perfection. Little backstory on Jeremy. Jeremy's been on the show before. You got my buddy Jeremy now from Spartan Media. He is a PR god. He's an expert on public relations. He does articles. He's written for every major magazine and media outlet that's out there. So Jeremy's he's a Marine Corps veteran, just a solid dude, and he's funny. So he goes in and talks a little bit about, Diddy did this documentary and then didn't pay the video guy. So 50 found out about it, went in, paid the guy, and and then exposed everything. And it's done beautifully. Like, if you're bitter and just you have the resources and it's no secret how much 50 Cent cannot stand Sean Puffy Combs. It's awesome. It's a great video. My buddy Jeremy kind of created this and breaks it down, but it's an absolute epic video. I think it's busting the internet right now. So go check it out. I just left it in the comments there. Jason, what's up, brother? How are you? What else? Okay, so last week I talked about a letter that the Dallas Express received, an exclusive letter. They got another one this week. It's a letter to Trump, number 2, how Maduro exported Tren de Agua to the U.S. I'm gonna post the link here, but the Dallas Express obtained a second exclusive letter addressed to President Donald Trump from retired Major General Cleaver Antonio Cordonez, a former high-ranking commander in the Venezuela's armed forces who served under Hugo Chavez. but claims that he requested retirement when Nicolas Maduro took power because, quote, it was very clear a criminal gang leader was taking over, end quote. This is very, very interesting on the second letter. It breaks down a lot more into it. I've got the link from the Dallas Express. I'm going to share it here with you guys. This is kind of a part 2 of what I talked about last week. So my question is, and that's all I'm saying about that. But the question that I'm going to ask is, how involved is Venezuela on the world stage right now? Is this something that we need to pay attention to? And it's funny because you think about, like, how many people have seen the TV series Jack Reacher or Jack Ryan, Jack Ryan, on I think it's on Netflix or Amazon, whatever. Look up Jack Ryan. It's got that actor from The Office, tall, funny, dark-haired guy. But they're talking about like Hugo was any better. I know, Dave, right? They're talking about one of the characters is talking about how, who on the world stage should the U.S. worry about? People, China, Russia, definitely China. And then he chimes in and says, Venezuela? And like dead silent. Like, why aren't we paying attention to Venezuela? And it's like, Venezuela is bad. It's just communist, allegedly a communist country, a lot of socialism going on there, right? But one of the in the movie clip, and I tried to find it and I couldn't, but from what I remember in the movie clip, it brought up he was doing a PowerPoint at CIA with a group of what I assume would be agents. And he says, Venezuela has the largest oil deposit, larger than Iraq, Iran, Saudi Arabia, whatever, Middle East, allegedly. And this is from the movie. I'm sharing this from what I saw in the movie. And then it says it's also had the largest gold deposits, more so than what you see in Brazil and the Amazon, South America, and so forth. So it's kind of, or in Africa, that's what I meant to say, Africa, down in Africa, Cape Horn and stuff like that. So like it's one of those, it's almost like a psyop thing. Again, you got to kind of put the puzzle pieces together. Should we be paying attention to Venezuela and what's going on there? Why are we seeing things happening the way that we're seeing them pan out right now? This is the topic I want to discuss. And maybe this is something where we have to do a happy hour night. Those of you that watch this, those of you that pay attention to what's going on the world stage, start putting this puzzle piece together. You want to get involved and you want to play with what's going on here. I think in the next 6 months, things are going to be astronomically different than what we see them as right now. Are we going to war with Venezuela? It's not for me to say. I speculate. Are we already kind of in a war right now? A drug war, if you will? Sure. The other thing is what what's going to happen next? And I go back, and so why I this is a 2-part thing of why I'm bringing this up. One, I think for those of you that like to do a deep dive, read the article from the Dallas Express. I posted the first part of it last week. This is a second letter to President Trump. It's full disclosure. There's no redacting or anything in this particular letter. It goes kind of into a deep dive of what's what and who's who. That's the big thing there. Who's who. Find out who the players are. Ryan, what's up, brother? How about we just yeah. The other part of that is with Venezuela is do a deep dive on like their economy. I kind of know what it is, but like are the things that were in that TV series, or is it true? And is that part of the reason why we're starting to see a play on Venezuela? That sound a little conspiracy theorist, I know, but that's something I want you guys to take a look at. Should you dare to do so? You want some reading material? Read the Dallas Express. Start putting a puzzle piece together. And who knows if you need, if you're going over to an in-laws or you're spending time with family over this holiday season and you want to ruffle some feathers, this might be a great freaking topic to do it with. You're welcome. Merry effing Christmas, everybody. All right, let's go on. Hey, don't forget, those of you that are watching this right now or that watch this later on today, I want to see comments below. Who do you got winning this year's Army-Navy game? As my buddy David mentioned earlier, Navy is currently 9-2, and the Army is 6-5. Who's taking it home in Baltimore tomorrow? Army or the Navy? What do we got here? Before we move on, what do we got here? Depends whether the perfect study. What happens? Everybody read that. It's a good point, David. Again, puzzle pieces. Let's put them together. All right, we got to move on. We're coming up on time already, guys. I love this. Let's keep the conversations going. Venezuela, let's talk about it. I want to hear your guys' talks on Army Navy. Leave a comment below. I got to give some shout outs real quick. Rich LaMonica of Misfit Nation podcast. You find their show at heroesmediagroup.com. Won podcast of the year last night. 2 nights ago. Sorry. Wednesday night, won podcast of the year at the American Freedom Fund, Manhattan Mistletoe's, M3 event that they do every year. Don Bramer puts it on. Don's a Navy veteran. Great guy. Taken him to Army Navy before. He's got the American Freedom Fund Foundation organization. Go to AmericanFreedomFund.org. And I was very proud to see the Misfit Nation had won podcast of the year. Freaking outstanding. So Rich, well deserved, brother. Also, we have Vet SOS podcast has gotten an award. Sean, the co-founder, Sean Welsh, was selected as the new military lever of the year at the U.S. Forces in Business Awards last week. And it's a recognition that celebrates those who are making an impact on their next career. Freaking awesome, man. Just absolutely awesome. So Sean, Vet SOS, I love what you guys are doing over there, man. And congratulations to both of you guys. Organizations well deserved. So hats off to you both. What do we got here? Jesus. Moving on. Other dates coming up. Christmas is right around the corner. Next week, ugly sweater. I want to see Christmas lights, and I want to see. Here's a question I want you to answer. How many of you, and be honest, you all better be honest. How many of you re-gift a gift? You get that ugly sweater with like 3 arms that your aunt made you when you were like whatever. How many of you like, I'm not taking this, I'm re-gifting this? How many of you do that? Don't be honest. Be honest. How many of you re-gift? I'm not going to say until one of you guys answer. All right, listen. Christmas is right around the corner. Next week's show, we're going to do Christmas lights. We're going to do ugly sweaters. Hell, we may even get into the Christmas spirit a little bit early and put something in our coffee just to loosen up a little bit. I don't know. Don't know what's going to happen yet. Other dates that are coming up. New Year's. That's right around the corner, too. I'm just throwing that stuff in there because it's holidays, right? All right, but important dates. PodFest 2026. It's the world's largest podcasting event, January 15th through the 18th, Orlando, Florida. Yours truly, I'll be speaking on stage. this year at Podfest Expo, talking about the art of interviewing. And I'll be doing that, sharing the stage with my friend Shay Sparks from Maker's Machine. So come check it out. Podfest Expo, January 15th through the 18th. You got to be there. Also, all my Texas crew, Military Creator Con is happening April 16th through the 18th. The website is now live. Go to militarycreatorcon.com. If you are a veteran, active duty, Guard Reserve, you're a military spouse, or you're a military child, and you create, whether it's here online, you create, woodworking, you make soap, you garden, you create something. You got a book, a podcast, whatever. We want you here at Military Creator Con. It's the first time that we're doing it on its own. It's going to be in Arlington, Texas, April 16th through the 18th. You definitely don't want to miss it. So go check it out, Military Creator Con. And here's the cool thing. If you use promo code HMG10, you're going to get a discount at checkout for your tickets right now. Go check them out. Nice, Jason. Nice. All right, let's get into some of the shows. We got a couple shows this week. We got one show coming back that we're excited about. But first off, let's start off with the disgruntled PM. This week, the hardest deadline, delivering on Christmas. This week, Trevor explores project management skills of Santa Claus, Saint Nick, whatever you want to call him, the big man in the red suit. Ho, ho, ho. He's not talking about his women. Project management skills of Santa Claus. He highlights how he exemplifies key project management concepts such as initiation, scope definition, resource management, all of that stuff that he does at the North Pole to get things done, to deliver to all the good boys and girls around the world on Christmas. It's pretty cool. Check it out, the Disgruntled PM. Next up, we got, oh, shit, I lost my place. Hey, Double S Podcast. Sunday night, we went live, and I say we because Double S Podcast does a show live every Sunday night, or the pre-record. Gene Campbell was live on Sunday night, and I was the guest. I was honored to be asked to be a part of the guest, and we talked about faith. And I know some of you are like, oh, here we go, religious. Nah, wasn't like that. I shared my experience and whatnot, but it was overwhelming, the responses that we were getting Sunday night. If you missed it, go to YouTube, type in Double S Podcast, and look at Faith, and that's the one that we did Sunday night. So it was an awesome episode. Make sure you go check it out. Launching. I just got a text message this morning. We got two shows that we've been talking about. Women of War is launching. Retired Lieutenant Colonel Olivia Nunn is the host of that. She's also the host of the Unbreakable Storm podcast. Both of these shows are going to be launching here soon. The Women of War is in post-production right now, so I'm pretty excited. This is something that we've been talking about for a while. We've had to postpone it just because of production demand. But this is going to be a really cool episode. All you women that have served in the military have a story to tell, and this is the place to tell it. Women of War launching, so stay tuned for that. She Bird the Vibe. This week, it's all about lies one tells. The ladies open up about the lies that we tell to ourselves, to others, and sometimes ones told to us. This mother and daughter duo, they unpack how dishonesty can shape trust, identity, and connection, and how truth through uncomfortable ways always brings freedom. So it's called She Bird the Vibe. It's a mother-daughter combo, and they do a fantastic job. Check it out. Don't forget, guys, all the podcasts that I'm talking about, you can find them at Heroes Media Group. Go to heroesmediagroup.com. J-Mac Podcast, he's got an event coming up, his sandbox stuff up in the Wigwam in Litchfield Park down there in Arizona coming up later this month. Go to JMAC Podcast. That's JMACH podcast.com. Check it out. Vet SOS Podcast. A couple shows this week. They got the Vet SOS. They speak with Lee Krautzen, the Veteran Entrepreneur Spotlight. They speak with Jay Speary. And then the Scoop, they talk with Mr. Chris Marvin. These are episodes you do not want to miss. And again, big shout out to the man, the founder, Sean Wealth, for his award. And he's just done a fantastic job. All right, next up, we got Show Up, Lead podcast with JJ Hardy. This week, the power of presence. Speak with soul, lead with impact. I love it. This week, he speaks with Tina Bakehouse, also known as BE. She's a communication coach who takes leaders past performance and straight into presence. She spent 25 years mastering the mechanics of voice, breath, mindset, and message. She's done research, that lived the craft, and does a pretty cool episode here. So check it out. That is the Speak Up, Show Up, Lead podcast with JJ Hardy. Next up, we got Keep It Spiritually Simple with Sandra McEllis. This week, Beyond Conscious Mind. Subliminal healing and alignment is the topic. So go check that out. Keep It Spiritually Simple. You can find her show on YouTube. Just type in Sandra McEllis. Next up, we got Homefront Sit Rep podcast. They got a couple of episodes this week. But this week I'm talking about Joe Urich. He does the Sober Vet podcast. He's actually pretty local to me. I've been in talks with him, getting back and forth. Got to get in touch with him. But yes, the Sober Vet podcast. You check that out. He was the guest on the Homefront Sit Rep podcast this week. What do we have here on LinkedIn? There's our man Ryan Williams Sr. Hey, there we go. All right, I love it. Thank you. Ryan's got. We'll do that one next. The other side of the firewall this week, today, they're going to have a new episode out. As Ryan, who the host there, right there, released an episode today. The strategic role of AI readiness in cybersecurity. A conversation with Jay Davis. Great, Ryan. Thank you for posting that, brother. Appreciate it. That's awesome. There you go. Other side of the firewall. Stay tuned. Coming soon today. Next up, we have Patriots Inside the Wire Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday nights, 4 to 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. Tracy Two Steps. She's been writing songs, getting them out there on the airwaves. You want to check this out. Patriots Inside the Wire, Gold Star Mother. Check it out. Good show. Rich, what's up, brother? I'm actually going to be talking about you next. Rich LaMonica, folks, he's right there. He's on. He just posted on the old Facebook. He won the award. Misfit Nation podcast. That's Rich, the founder of that group, for best podcast of the year. Awesome job. One that I'm talking about, the episode and they do 3 episodes each week. This week, though, I'm talking about the Tuesday Crew. Tuesday Crew welcomes U.S. Army veteran, mental health specialist, author, and creator of Stick Vet Comics, Travis Landchild. This is a really cool episode. His work blends truth, humor, spiritual conflict, and the raw reality of military transition into one unforgettable, veteran-focused storytelling universe. If you've never checked out this stuff, it is freaking awesome. Go check it out. It's the Misfit Nation podcast. Next up, we got the Arms Room. This week, they're discussing planning for E&E in case of an emergency. Check it out. They release a new show every Monday, 2 p.m. Mountain Standard Time as well. The Arms Room show. Follow them, the OGs. Tony Abrascato, I see you over there. What's up, brother? How you doing? Label Free podcast this week. Leanne Ozane, financial planner. profitability expert and creator of the two-number method. What is the two-number method, Adam? Well, you're going to have to listen to the Label Free podcast. Check it out. I'm not going any further than that. But it is, Leanne talks about how she ran a software company to becoming a profitable coach after a financial crisis nearly cost her marriage and reshaped her entire approach to money. She explains why every business owner must understand where their cash is going and how to make smarter financial decisions. She breaks down her simple yet powerful two-number method. It's a framework that helps entrepreneurs track cash flow, pinpoint profitable investments, and eliminate unnecessary spending. Label Free podcast. Check it out. Next up, we got the People's Patriot Project. Every Sunday night, 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. I'm going to butcher this person's name, so I'm not even going to try. But this past Sunday was awesome. Individual shared her unique perspective on expressing gratitude to veterans without ever saying the words thank you. With a strong background in psychology, she uses her skills to support those who have served, driven by a deep passion for giving back to men and women who have protected her country and community. This one is a real tearjerker. I know David's laughing at me because I can't pronounce people's name. I get it. Whatever. Ken, there he is. What's up, brother? Good morning to you. Pushing Back Chaos is next. New episode tomorrow. They've been on a bit of a hiatus. They go into that a little bit, and they've got some episodes getting ready to punch out for 2026 as well. Looking forward to having them back in the rotation each week. Pushing Back Chaos. Stand by for that. Next up, we got Chasing Happiness. Does faith equal trust? After 51 years, Ryan, our host, finally understand, and it changes everything about how he handles life's storm. If you're in a waiting period right now, this episode will help you stop going crazy while God is working in your life. In the episode, you're going to learn why we trust strangers like Uber drivers, pilots, but struggle to trust God. The three critical elements of faith most people miss: touch, feel, vision, and how daily Bible reading eliminates anxiety and starts his day off right. That's what he does. Pretty interesting. This one's called Chasing Happiness. Go check it out. Last but not least, Rise Up, Voices from the Front Line till 1040, the crisis of leadership identity. Every leader follows a compass, unless you're a lieutenant. But not every compass leads to truth. In episode 10, we dig into the idea of false North Stars, the values, metrics, ambitions that we can look like guidance, but actually lead us astray. Check it out. It is Rise Up, Voices from the Front Line. I got to give shout outs to some sponsors that we've had. This year's sponsors have been absolutely phenomenal for the network. I say sponsors, network supporters, companies that support Heroes Media Group the last several years. From the Farm, our buddy AJ Richards, Army veteran. Great to have him a part of this, and it's been awesome this year having him on. My Tax Fella he's been our longest supporter. Anthony Moriello, he's become a good friend over the years. He handles all of our taxes for the businesses and our personal stuff. If you're looking for somebody to do it right, go ahead and give mytaxfella.com a call. Forget Genetics. Barry has done a fantastic job with his company. It's a family-run business, veteran-owned business. All you deer hunters, all you outdoorsmen, if you like having animals in your front yard, in your backyard, in the woods, go check out Forget Genetics. The guy is a mad scientist. He's got it figured out, and this stuff is great. So go check that out. Jim Neary's Live Bait and Tackle. Just talked to Jim. He's a Marine Corps veteran. He's been a longtime supporter of HMG. We're getting ready to do some video work with them at the NRA Great American Outdoor Show here coming up in February. And they have re-signed for the 2026 season. So we're excited to have them again next year. Fin Tactical. They are responsible for our websites. They also do a lot of our IT stuff. So go check them out. And then, of course, HMG Beverage. We got some big news coming up in 2026. We've got a lot of new shows that are coming for HMG Beverage. So we want to thank everybody that's been a part of that. This weekend, unplug, get out in nature if you can. I may or may not be rushing to get back here next week for the show. I haven't decided when I'm going back down to Virginia, but I'd like to do it before Christmas. And if that's the case, if anybody needs me, well, hit us up, send us an email. Let me put that email back up here real quick. There you go. If you need anything, email me right there. Or you replace media with Adam. Same thing, whatever. Next week, I want to see ugly sweaters. I want to see Christmas lights. If you hung your Christmas lights, let's take some pictures. Let's get it. I want to give out some coffee here for the holiday season. You might not get it by Christmas, but you'll get it for the holiday, before the new year. So, and then also answer the questions: Army, Navy, who's winning? And then also let's answer: do you re-gift? Gene, you're late, but you know what? That's all right. Listen, I want to appreciate you guys jumping on this morning. This is always great to see friends, supporters here. Jason, yes, it is freezer feeling, and I've had a hard year. I've had a humbling year hunting this this year. It's been a kick in the crotch, I tell you that much. But I still got a couple weeks left down in Virginia, so we'll see what happens. Otherwise, I might be bunking with some of you out there for 2026. I don't know. Anyway, let's call it a day, guys. I appreciate y'all. Army Navy game tomorrow, 3 p.m. It doesn't really matter who wins. They're all go Army. Go Army. I said it. Till next week. God bless you. God bless America. I love you all. We'll see you guys next week. Take care.